Hi everyone, 7 o'clock Tuesday morning. My name is Adele. I'm from Your Healing Path. I'm your host here at Dare to Be Authentic. Thank you to those who can join in this morning on the live feed. I just had Hugo come in to investigate what's going on. So today's topic is about procrastination. So guys, I actually found this quite challenging because, hi Doss! I found it quite challenging because when I'm working with people one-on-one, I just get straight to the core of it, right? So it's, the intuitive stuff comes in and I just go, people talk and it's just like, right, this is what we're dealing with. So when I had to sort of put together a system of, well, what is procrastination and what can I do to help people work through procrastination? So here's what I came up with. All right. Procrastination is a warning system. If we look at procrastination that way, all of a sudden, magic! It's not this handful of, when you were a kid and they had, green slime? It's not this handful of green slime that you have no control over because it's kind of falling all over the place and it's messy and you don't know what to do with it. Instead, it becomes a tennis ball. You can hold it, it's firm, you can turn it, you look at it from all different angles, and suddenly it becomes understandable. I thought that was quite nice. So if we look at procrastination as a warning system, what do I mean by that? If you're procrastinating about something, your mind, your body, or your brain, or your soul is saying something about this is not quite right for me. Okay? So we don't just dismiss that, but we do get a chance to look at it. And that's what I did yesterday. The issue with procrastination is that people use their brain only to try and work through it. Right? So if you're only engaging the brain and you're not engaging heart and mind, so when we're talking mind, we're talking about you as a person, then all you're looking at is the mechanics of how to solve the problem, right? Rather than incorporating the whole to solve the problem. And then there's that other thing that people go, oh, just do it. It's a great sporting slogan. Just do it. Personally, I'm not a fan of that. I'm really not. Because if you just do it, that works for some people. It doesn't work for everyone. Okay? Basically, you're pushing shit uphill, right? That's what it comes down to. So, going back to how to explain procrastination, first of all, I look at it now as a warning system, okay? Something about what you're doing doesn't sit right with you, okay? So what's going on with that warning system? Well, I'm glad you asked. I sat down yesterday and I came up with this. It's pretty cool, huh? Hi, Victoria. Hi, Dameen. It's pretty cool. I have a really, really strong admin background, so I've spent a lot of hours working. Thanks, Victoria. I spent a lot of hours doing a lot of years doing office work, and I'm very process driven. So when I was trying to work out how do I explain procrastination, I'm doing arrows here and arrows there, and I went, it's a process. Let's build a flowchart, because that's what I do. So I'm going to start reading from this. When you're procrastinating, you've got to ask yourself, why am I procrastinating? And the answer to that, in my opinion, could be one of three things. You don't like what you have to do. You don't want to do what you have to do. You don't want to do what you have to do. Or you don't know how to do what you have to do. Okay. Now that last part is actually split into two parts. the how to. There could be a technical aspect that you're stuck on, or there could be an inspirational aspect that you're stuck on. But effectively, 3 things. You don't like it, you don't want it, you don't know how to do it. Okay? So what we're actually going to focus on today is the don't like and don't want, because if you don't like something or you don't want something, that's a heart aspect. Okay? That's a feeling aspect. When we're talking about not knowing how to do something, you are talking about the brain aspect of it. Even when we're talking about inspiration, which, you know, is you know, mind, soul, growth, all of that sort of thing, your brain is still trying to work out how to do it. So today we're going to look at the heart mind aspect of procrastination. Okay? Because that's how we're going to get to the root of what might be holding you back, what might be stopping you from progressing in whatever it is that you're trying to do, whatever you're sort of going, oh, I really need to get onto that. Why am I not getting onto that? So I will post this up in the group after today's feed, and I think that if you print this off and you start working through it step by step, you're gonna start getting some answers coming through. Okay, so again, I'm used to working with people one-on-one, where I tap straight in, we get right to the core of the problem. Okay, but if you want to go this alone, then this might be a process that's going to help. Okay, so when you're looking at I don't like what I have to do, or I don't want some aspect of what I have to do, first question is, so guys, you know, from here on it might get a little bit dry. I apologize for that, but I really want to explain the flow chart because it can be look a little bit daunting if you first print it out. So the first thing is identify what you don't like about it or what you don't want about it. Okay? Now I've put a couple of examples there. So what don't you like about what you're about to do or what you're trying to do, or what don't you want? Big one, change. People underestimate how much change plays into procrastination, right? If you're trying to get something done and you succeed at that, things are going to change, right? Things are going to change. So do you not want change, or do you not like change? Something to think about. Something about it just doesn't sit right. Okay, so these are all the reasons you might not like or might not want to do it. Just something doesn't sit right. Or it could be something else. I'm not here to put words in your mouth or tell you what emotions to tap into when you're doing this, but it could be something else. Or you don't know how to do it. So in that case, that's what we'll talk about tomorrow, not knowing how to do something and how to overcome that. So once you've asked yourself, what don't I like about it, or what don't I want about this, and you come up with, well, it's this, 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 then you got to ask yourself, well, if it's this, 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 do I really want to do it? Do I really want to do it? If this means, like if I go ahead with this and it means this, 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 do I really want that? Hard question to answer. But if the answer is yes, then you've got to ask yourself, because remember, we're dealing with procrastination, we're dealing with a warning system. If you really want to do this, but you're still procrastinating, then you've got to ask yourself, is this actually the right thing for me? Okay, again, we're dealing with a warning system. Is this the right thing for me? If the answer to that is yes, sorry, hang on. If the answer to that is no, then you need to let it go. Okay? So if the answer is, do I really want this? No, then you need to let it go. and move on. If the answer to, is this right for you? If the answer to that is no, then you need to let it go. Okay? I'm not saying you run away from it. I'm not saying, I don't know. I can't even think of negative words about that sort of thing anymore, because it's not negative. Okay? If you make a decision to go, you know what, I've now realized this is not the right thing for me, all the more power to you. All the more power to you, because you've just taken control of your life. Pretty cool. But if the answer is, do you really want it? Yes. Is it the right thing for you? Yes. Then what's stopping you? And this is where, guys, you have to look within and really start thinking about what is stopping you from progressing. So a fairly simple way of doing that, and it is on this chart, is what do I feel when I think about doing this task? What do I feel? You could feel uncomfortable, frustrated, angry, scared, or something else, anxious, whatever. That is your risk system being alerted. Okay, something about this is not quite right, but I need to do it. I want to do it, but something's still stopping me. Remember? These emotions are telling you something. Emotions are always telling you something. So if you're feeling uncomfortable, frustrated, angry, scared, anxious, whatever, then your risk alert system has been triggered. So what do you do about that? If you proceed and not do anything else, you're going to be bogged down with fear of success, fear of failure, or fear of the unknown. Yeah? If you decide not to proceed at that stage, so your alert system's up and you go, not going to do it, not going to do it, not for me. You can either stay stuck. Now, keeping in mind, this is, yes, it's the right thing for you. Yes, you really want to do it, but something's still stopping you. Your alert system gets triggered and you still decide, nah, not going to do it. You can either stay stuck, keep going around that circle, keep going around that circle, keep procrastinating, or you can let it go. Again, when I'm talking about letting it go, I'm not talking about just dump the whole thing altogether, if it's something that you really want. But what I'm saying is let go of it for the time being, because you're not looking at it the right way. Your motivation for doing whatever it is you want to do is not, it doesn't have a solid foundation. Okay? We will go into a lot more of that tomorrow. So when I'm talking about letting it go for now, and it's here, it says for now, it's not further procrastination or giving up. Okay? It's actually a technique to free your mind to allow you to move forward in another direction. Okay? How does that all sound? If you do want to proceed and you don't want to face fear of success, fear of failure, or fear of the unknown, then you've got some work to do. You've got some work to do about looking at why you are stopping yourself. Okay, this goes back to the series that we did last week on boundaries. Have you got self-imposed boundaries? Have you got boundaries that have been imposed on you? Hi, Nicole. Have you got boundaries that have been imposed on you and you've then adopted? And are these boundaries triggering the uncomfortable, the frustrated, the angry, the scared, or something else? Then you need to look at that. So you look at your boundaries, you look at whether your reaction, your emotional reaction to this task is about past experience, so you're dealing with limiting beliefs, or if it's about not knowing what's going to happen in future. This is a big one, okay? Because what we're talking about there is confidence. This time I had a glass of water. What we're talking about is confidence, and we're talking about trust in yourself. Now, those things don't just happen like that, okay? If you want to go forward, if you want to achieve something, you've got to have good groundwork, right? You've got to have a good solid why. Why am I doing this? And again, we will talk about that tomorrow. You don't have a good solid why, you're going to stumble, you're going to fall, you're going to trip over, you're going to stop. Because really, if you don't have a good solid why am I doing this that speaks to your heart, then, yeah, why would you keep going? What's the motivation? So, guys, I'm not going to go into the technical aspect and the inspiration part of things. The part about procrastination, which is you don't know how to do it, okay? Today was all about dealing with heart and mind, not brain and mind, okay? If there's something that you don't like about what you're doing, or if there's something that you don't want about what you're doing and it's causing procrastination, you need to look at that. Print off this flowchart, and if there is something that you're procrastinating about, work through it and see if you can kind of get to what's at the core of it, what's actually stopping you, okay? So this kind of thing works for, so Kat put in the comments yesterday that she was procrastinating to do with exercise, housework and work. That first process that we talked about, the heart process, is exactly about things like that. Oh, I really need to start exercising, but I'm not. Well, why aren't you? What is it about starting to exercise that you're not ready to face? What don't you like about it, or what don't you want about it? Okay? Deirdre and Dawes, who I hope is still on the line, hi. Dawes, you mentioned about moving forward in business, and the key thing that you mentioned in your comment was that you were struggling to feel your original vision. Huge, huge. This is the why that I'm talking about. Why did you start the business in the first place? What was your motivation for doing what you want to do? Yeah? We will go into that tomorrow, because there is also a process there to remind you why you're doing something, to remind you why you started something. And when you remember that, when you start procrastinating and you have got a good solid why to go to, it will snap you out of procrastination just like that. It'll start your mind going, it'll start your brain going, it'll start your heart going. And all of a sudden we have this amazing, incredible flow of energy from heart to mind, brain, backwards and forwards. And your whole body goes, right, that's why I'm doing this. So now I'm going to sit down and work out what's stopping me at this point. Guys, it can sound a little bit cyclical, what I'm talking about. And it is. It is. Because once you overcome one thing and you learn how to deal with that, then the next layer will appear. And you deal with that and you move on. And then the next layer will appear and you deal with that and you move on. It's called growth. It's called progress. It's about moving forward. It's about claiming your right to be happy. Claiming your right to live the life that you want for yourself, your family, your children, whoever, your business. What do you want? And what's stopping you? Okay, I think that's about enough this morning. Tomorrow we will be looking at how fear of success and fear of failure ties in with procrastination. And we're going to talk a lot more about the why. Because if you've got a good solid why am I doing this? Why have I set off down this path? If you've got a good solid why, you're going to get it done. You might stumble a little bit along the way and need a little bit of a pat on the back and a bit of support. Cool. Who doesn't need that? But if you've got a good solid why, you're going to get stuff done. Okay. As I said, I will put my beautiful flowchart up in the documents section of the group. So if you want to give it a go today, think about something that you're procrastinating on and print out the flowchart and look at the heart-mind aspect of what's going on with procrastination. Thanks for joining in, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. Tune in tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock. As I said, we'll be talking about the brain-mind aspect of procrastination. Have a fabulous day.